Suncorp is a financial services organisation that it was described as a watershed moment when they decided to take on a BYOD strategy quite a bit earlier than many of their peers in the market. That strategy has changed somewhat since, but what I found very interesting about talking to our next speaker is what needed to happen in the background before any of the benefits on the device side can really happen.
We allow people to do bring your own device at their own risk. They can also come and ask us for a device, a mobile device that we would provide, which would be locked down and secured in much the same way that their desktop would be, and we will provide that. Or they can use their own device and have the secure sandbox on it, which we have control over, and they acknowledge we have control over that secure sandbox on the device. It is possible to access a virtual desktop on an iPad form factor and do so very successfully. Any bring your own device strategy comes with enormous operational overheads if you do not have an automated self-service portal for provisioning those devices. So that means you can't just go out and have every single person that wants to bring partake in a bring your own program, bring that device into an IT rep somewhere in the organisation and have them manually configure it. It doesn't scale. So that's where we already had our SunCloud or Suncorp Cloud implementation inside. We have a self-service portal and an automation engine, orchestration engine that we wrote in-house that we can then bolt onto the front of the MDM and do the mobile device management, but have the onboarding to that mobile device manager fully automated and self-serviced.
Once you start allowing bring your own devices or consumer tablets and so on, one of the things you really need to consider on the security front is that basically you need to assume that everything on your internal network is evil and start to secure assets on the network rather than trying to secure the perimeter. The whole perimeter security thing's gone out the window with these kind of devices. So it comes down to role-based access to specific assets on the network, and of course that's part of this segmenting your employees. Certain employees need access to some things and other employees don't need access to any of those things. So a role-based authentication system for access to network assets becomes necessary. You can't actually, from a tool, remove an application from an iPhone or iPad. But you can have a blacklist and a whitelist, and what you can do, particularly if you have a mobile device management tool, is that if somebody tries to connect to your network with one of the blacklisted applications, it refuses access. The mobile device management tool will refuse access to the gateway. So it's a kind of a carrot and stick approach to application blacklists and whitelists. But it does work because at the end of the day, employees want to use this stuff, and they will put up with restrictions. They will put up with having to sign an agreement about the fact that you're going to be monitoring or providing them with a sandbox or whatever, because they want to use the device.
We are blacklisting, so things like Dropbox we will absolutely stop people using, because what happens is it's basically a cloud where people synchronise your data to a cloud that's held offshore. So there's data sovereignty issues that APRA would have quite large problems with if you allowed that type of application to exist on a mobile device. So there are certain applications that we will definitely blacklist.
There are now some terrific mobile device management tools that are out there. Quite a number of them are available on the ground and present in Australia, and they're being used by Australian companies, and they manage many of these other aspects of security and separating people into groups and providing different levels of access to groups and maintaining and updating software and managing application loads and managing whether people can blacklist and whitelist of applications and so on.